G'day everyone, bit of a different location today, Ed. We've got the beautiful Sha Tin behind us. My big body's probably taken up half your view. Another week's gone.
Another week has gone. Time always goes quickly here in Hong Kong, and an important week, a busy week in racing here in Hong Kong. On the track, let's focus on that last weekend. The two main lead-ups towards FWD Champions Day, the Chairman's Trophy over 1600 metres, won by Beauty Generation. We also had Voyage Warrior win the Sprint Cup, but you also had the flops of Athero and Waikuku.
Yep, both failed. I wouldn't put it down to a flop, maybe. I'd probably just say that we don't know what's really happened, do we? Athero missed the kick. Heard Zach Purton say during the week he doesn't know why he missed the kick. He was standing upright. He looks like a horse now that just has to be ridden forward, make his own luck in the race. In saying that, I still believe that, you know, further, maybe next season or season after that, we could see him as getting over a little bit longer. We'll see him ridden quietly, which he's got to learn a lot before he does that, because geez, he can do a lot wrong during his races. Waikuku, I don't know what's happened there. It was interesting. He did miss, a bit of swimming, a couple of his normal exercise, his normal regime leading into that race. So he could have a couple of issues. We don't know, but we'll leave that up to John Size. He's the king of the horses. But Voyage Warrior, very good in the sprint, a very exciting sprinter. Chung Fa's been very, very good to him. He's going back and forth. He's gone back during the week, so he's just going to keep the same plan. And the old boy Beauty Generation, absolute marvel, phenomenal horse, tough horse. Zach really barely had to touch him.
He did. It wasn't necessarily the margin that flattered him, because he only won by half a length or so. But as you say, Zach didn't have to touch him. And I think it's interesting, he's probably getting to that age now where he only does what he has to. Exactly
right, and he doesn't have to win by any more. He's done his job. He continues to win. He's over 100 million now he's earned. Takes you a long way in a bus. So I know that I'd love to own him, even a couple of percent of him. But well done to the Quocks. They've got a champion horse, and well done to Mr. Moore. John Moore, he's done a brilliant job with this horse, getting into peak again, and Zach knows how to ride him. And but yeah, he's just an incredible horse, and I hope they gave him a few carrots during the week, because he definitely deserves it.
He's not as good as he was. The ratings reflect that. He's not as dominant as he was, and he's been beaten. He's lost that aura of invincibility, but at 7 years of age to still be winning Group 1s, Group 2s, particularly here in Hong Kong, the environment that we race in here, it's been a fantastic achievement by all concerned.
Oh, for sure. He's done it tough too throughout his career. It's former Australian galloper who showed a lot of ability early on. He came over here with a bit of a boom. We never thought he'd be the next champion, one of the best horses in the world, but as I said, John Moore's done a great job with him. He's got him to get better and better, and over 100 million now, and who knows, we might see him for another season now. He's keeps stepping up to the plate, so good on him, and I bet he's looking forward to the Group 1 at the end of the month.
Yeah, so that's in a couple of weeks' time. We've also got a new jockey joining us this week. He's been in Hong Kong, as you put up on social media a couple of weeks ago. He's been here for a few weeks now, but with the quarantine regulations, he's had to do 2 weeks of self-isolation. Of course, to speak of Antoine Hamilton joining the riding ranks as of Sunday.
Yeah, another suave Frenchman. Looks like a really polished rider. He's got a great book of rides for his first meeting. He's got 9 rides, and I actually think he can run a big race on a few of them. We'll touch that in a little bit of time, but a very polished rider, smart rider, confident, and I can tell he's very, very excited to get out there on Sunday, and so he should be. He's been in isolation now for a few weeks.
Yeah.
So
after 2 weeks by yourself in a room, it was a nice room that he was in, but still 2 weeks by yourself, you'd be ready to get out onto the track.
Yeah, definitely. He's out there now, so he's excited to get into the action, and good luck to him. I hope he can punch home 1 or 2 winners on the weekend.
Let's get into the weekend's action then. Start off with the Griffin race for the younger horses down the straight. What way are you going here?
I'm going to go with Like That. I think he's a horse that's not ready. He's a young horse that's got to develop and still learn a lot, but these Griffin races over here, you don't really need to be at your 100% in your career. So I just think he's shown nice ability throughout his Throughout what he's shown so far in Hong Kong, his recent trial was good. I like how he went through the line. In saying that's not the best, toughest Griffin race we've seen in a while. I thought Sunny Star's recent trials have been okay. There's something there, and I thought one that might be a bit of price is Chen Chang Prince. Nice, flashy grey horse. I thought he's attacked the line pretty well in a few trials, but Vincent opted to ride Sunny Star, where he could have ridden the other grey horse. He's probably got a bit of more opinion of Sunny Star.
Yeah, none of these horses have raced before. And looking back through the years, you look at horses like Styling City, whose trials leading into his Griffin debut were ordinary, and then he came out and won on debut. So we're going to learn more about these horses after Sunday, but for the record, you're with Like That, the son of Akid Mafid.
Yeah, exactly, and they can do a lot wrong in their debut runs. It's a new environment to them all, so don't go putting a pen for them. They've still got long careers ahead of them.
On to race 2, this is a Class 5 over 1,000 metres. Fairy Floss was much better last time out on the dirt. He's a horse who's shown some sort of ability in the mornings in the trials and track work. Is he now starting to put it together on the races?
Yeah, he is. He's always shown that bit of ability. It's taken him a while to produce some of his best. He was better last start, but I'm going to go with Bella Baby. Chris So team's going really well. Karras rides him. His first up effort at this track was really, really good. I reckon back to Sha Tin up the straight. I reckon a very good win and place bet in this race. I reckon he can run a huge race.
Okay, on to the third. This is another Class 5 contest here. This one stepping up though over 1,800 metres.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tough race, Edward. I can't trust too many horses in this, but I'm going to go with Amazing Agility. He's just racing well at the moment. Looks to find a winnable race. Victorious Seeker have racing very well as well. And I think a horse that we can probably have a watch on now is Chiu Chow Kid from the Benno Jung stable. And one that could be massive odds, it's going to need a lot of luck from the wide barrier, is Golden General. Okay, let's go to the fourth, Class 4 over 1,200 metres here. Goodview Clarico won well last time out. I thought that Noble Desire was an eye-catcher at the Valley too. He was flat 2 starts ago, but his start before that where Lyle Hewitson rode him, where he flashed home and ran 4th, was very good. He produced that again last start, another very eye-catching run. He's a horse with a lot of ability. I just don't know how this race is going to suit him to run. He's probably going to have to go back, and he's going to need a lot of luck. Goodview Clarico is a smart horse. I think he'll be getting the job done in this race. I think he's pretty talented, this bloke. So barrier 3 gets a perfect run. One horse to keep a massive watch on at big price is Dragon Pride. Recent trial okay, and there's definitely an engine there. So he's had his 3 runs already. Barrier 4, Chad Schofield, who's absolutely airborne at the moment. Sorry, that's my phone there, punters.
You're very popular, Adam.
Yes. Yeah, it's probably my mum calling me.
Hi, Trish.
Dragon Pride. I thought his recent trial was good, and I definitely know there's some sort of engine there, so I think we could see a bit of an improvement on the weekend. Okay. Class 4 for race 5, a 1,400 metre event. There looks to be a lot of pace on in this race, Adam. Who's it going to suit? Doesn't there? There could be 5 or 6 going forward in this, so there's going to be definitely a lot of pace. That's why I've opted to go with Bulletproof. Hasn't shown much in his first couple of runs, but the Ricky Yu team's going really well. His recent trial was good. I liked it. I think there's an engine there. I know before his debut run, we spoke about this horse. He raced on the all-weather track. He's on the turf now. His barrier 1, I think he'll just sit right behind the speed. Matthew Chadwick's riding a few. Matthew Poon's been riding okay as of late. So I just hope he can pull back and just get this horse to the outside, because I think if he does, he's going to run a really big race. Go on to race number 6 then, Class 4 over 1,200 metres. President's Choice. I was impressed by what he showed in the last 100 metres of his win last time out. The interesting one as well is Colonel. Zach Purton jumps on from gate number 3. He's been racing well. He can be his own worst enemy in that he looks like a keen going horse, but with those soft hands of Zach, is that enough to get him over the line? Best bet of the day for me. Ooh, okay. He looks like he's just going to tick the boxes. Zach gets on after a very good performance last start. Zach actually beat him on a talented horse in the name of Beluga. It just reminds me a little bit of Ka Ying. Excellent, yes, last week. I get confused between him and Ka Ying Legend. There's plenty of them. Yeah. There's a few Ka Ying. So I just think Zach gets on at the right time. He did this last week on Ka Ying. He gets on Colonel today, tomorrow, Sunday. I just think it just ticks a lot of boxes. I don't necessarily think this horse has to lead. I think there is a couple that are going to go forward, so I wouldn't be shocked if Zach just pulls him behind and rides him exactly the same as he did with Carrying Excellent last week. So he's the best for me. A horse that I think will run a much improved race is Happily Friends. Not in saying that, he did run a good race on debut, but he's fitter, drawn well, and Chad's riding brilliantly, as we said before.
Okay, so that is race 6. Let's go on to race 7, class 4 over 1400 metres. What have you picked out in this?
Gone with Roman Impero again. I think he'll just go forward. Alfie Chan's -7 on his back. Barrier 1 ticks plenty of boxes. Best for you, Antoine Hemelin. Barrier 2. I reckon this horse will run a massive race. He was really good last start, warmed up, charged home late. I think he'll run a very big race. So I'm going to play around with Roman Impero, sort of win and place, and Best for You win and place as well. I just think, both those horses look ready to win. Okay,
I've been following Dream Warriors recently as well too. Just like to see him draw a better gate and get a bit of tempo on. They're the two things he needs.
Exactly, he does need a bit of a tempo. And a wide barrier, he's going to need a lot of luck. But in saying that, Vincent's riding well.
Relatively small field then for race number 8, class 3 over 1800 metres. Up the top, Champion Supreme has been really consistent this season. I'm intrigued by what Naboo does switching to Sha-Tin.
Definitely a very talented horse who's been racing really well at Happy Valley. He did run at Sha-Tin earlier this season, but he wasn't ready. He was still fat, so he was getting much fitter. So
not that we're not going to knock anyone who's fat.
Definitely not.
We'd be, pot calling the kettle black.
No, he's definitely. It was just put a pen through that run. He was getting through his, getting through his fitness level. So we see him come back to Sha-Tin now. He'll be a much fitter horse, and he's racing really well. Barrier 5, absolutely perfect for him. I think he'll sit midfield, one off, get to the outside, and if he does produce his best, he'll win. Blastoise was good last start, and Zomble's been racing well. I'm just thinking Zomble needs to step up a bit. He's been a bit flat his last couple of races, and a horse that I think will run a much improved race is Vinci. He was okay first up, didn't have much luck, but Naboo Star for me at the winning place, and I reckon he can run a big race.
Race 9 on the card, class 3 down the straight. This is a good sprint race, Adam.
It is a good sprint race. It's tough. I wouldn't be shocked if, I sort of had like 8 numbers written down, going through them. But I'm going to trust me once again.
Okay.
Zach gets off, but I don't know if Zach got off or he was maybe already booked for Kerpenny. Kerpenny's a nice horse on the rise. You like Kerpenny. Barrier 4, I think he's going to be at the wrong part of the track, and they're going to go very fast in this. So I'm going to stick with Trust Me, get perfectly just behind the speed. He's been racing really well. He's won his last 2. Chad gets on. I think he'll just, be sat right behind him. He looks like a kind of horse that once you let him off the bridle, there's not really much there. So you might have to cuddle, get out late, and he'll pounce. But Valiant Dreams racing really well. Kerpenny's a horse we must have a massive watch on, and Heart Conquered. He's been all right, but I think he just needs to be ridden a touch quieter.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't think it was necessarily suitable for the horse to be leading like he did last time out. I'm hoping that he can just sit behind them, and I think he's got a reasonable turn of foot.
Yeah, definitely. If he can, I think he'll be running on strongly. And a horse who I keep having an opinion of, and he's only had a couple of starts, but we've got to see him start doing something now, is Heliku Knights.
Yep.
The ability's there. He's drawn the right side of the track. He's been showing speed in his trials and his races, but I wouldn't be shocked if Derek, just pops him out and tries to sit behind the speed to try and teach him something, and also try and teach him to run on. So if he does, he's one to probably put in your exotics.
Flying Genius, I think, is another one to include as well too, because he's also drawn on the right part of the track. He's a pretty speedy horse. He ran well enough on the dirt last time out, but back to 1,000 metres will, I think, be better for him. Yeah,
he's very fast horse. He'll be going forward, but I just think there's going to be a lot of pace in this race.
Okay, race 10 on 11 race card is the class 3 over 1,400 metres, the Hung Hom handicap. I'm going to go here. I know he's drawn a little wide. Namjong Singh's a horse that I think's working his way towards a win.
He's got the ability. I've been a little bit disappointed in his last few efforts. His trials have been really, really good. He's been getting to race day and he just hasn't been producing his best. So I agree with you, Ed. There's an ability there. There's an engine there, but Barrier 11, I just had to leave him out of my numbers. I'm going with Fantastic Show again. He's flying, this horse. Won his last 2 really well. I just think he'll win again. And we've got a horse like Gift of Life, so racing well, and one horse to keep a massive watch on is Beauty Smile. First starter for the Quocks, Zach Burton, Tony Cruz. Trials have been really good. I've seen Zach's been spending a bit of time with this horse, so he's obviously got the opinion of the horse. He's got to carry a big weight first up, and it is a tough ask, but I think knowing Zach, he'll be putting him out the back a bit, midfield, getting him outside, and he'll be running on late. This horse, there's an engine there.
Final event then, Class 2 over 1400 metres, the Austin Handicap, the best race, or the highest class race certainly for the afternoon. You can make a case for a number of these. I'm most intrigued by what Beauty Legacy does, back and trip, couple of gear changes, all those sort of things, but my idea of the winner is Starshine.
Yep, Starshine racing really well, has to be included in everything. Beauty Legacy, a serious horse, but he's got a few screws loose upstairs. Once John Sires learns about the horse and what he can and can't do with him, it'll be a massive tick. As we said, the ability's there, but he's just not producing his best at the moment. Recent trial outstanding when he did go forward. I just have a little bit of a feeling inside me that he's going to be ridden quietly again. But if he does go forward, I think it could be times and margins. For me, value bet of the day, number 5, one of my favourite horses in Hong Kong, Dragon General. If we get 40 to 1 about him again, wouldn't be too bad. But he won last start. A little bit of rain around maybe tomorrow or Sunday, so I just love this horse. He always tries his best, and he can rattle off some serious sectionals when ridden the right way. He's going to need a little bit of luck from barrier 1. Hopefully he doesn't jump out and they ride him upside down, because his best attribute is to be ridden quietly, get to the outside and just rip home. So I'm going to save the best value bet to the last, and I'm going to have Colonel as my best of the day.
Okay, sure thing. I'll say that Starshine is going to be a good each way bet for the day. So 11 races, couple of busy meetings coming up. 11 on Sunday, 9 at the Valley on Wednesdays. So more opportunities for us to find some winners, Adam.
Definitely right. We did say that we're going to do a show, try and do a show for Wednesday night, but it has been a bit tough lately. Ed's been out Chartin and I've been at Happy Valley a fair bit, so it's been a little bit tough at the moment, but we will try and get that to you guys shortly. All the best, and of course we're simulcasting tomorrow's big day from Sydney, Queen Elizabeth Day, always a huge day. And what was it, a year ago today, or a year ago tomorrow? Yeah, we've seen the champ retire in Winx. So I hope everyone back home in Australia has a great day, and hope everyone's staying safe.